You're lying in bed, it's 2:14 a.m., and suddenly a sharp, almost electric jolt shoots through your calf. Your leg tightens like a vice. It's a cramp. Again, you sit up, breathe through the discomfort, maybe try to walk it off, but you're left with a question: why does this keep happening? And more importantly, how can I stop it? Here's something most people don't know. Muscle cramps, especially in the legs, aren't just random spasms or signs of getting older. They're signals. Your nervous system, your electrolytes, and your muscle fibers are all trying to tell you something. And if you know how to listen and how to feed them correctly, you can prevent these cramps almost entirely. According to a 2021 paper in Muscle and Nerve, over 50% of adults over age 60 experience frequent nighttime leg cramps, and yet only a small percentage ever receive any meaningful intervention. That's a problem not just for comfort, but for safety. Leg cramps increase fall risk. They interfere with sleep. They erode confidence in mobility. And over time, they quietly chip away at both physical strength and mental resilience. But the good news is this: you can strengthen your legs, support your nerves, and dramatically reduce or eliminate cramps using something profoundly simple: food. What's happening in your brain and body when a cramp strikes is a mix of neuromuscular misfiring, mineral imbalances, and poor hydration, all of which can be modified by what you eat. Certain foods contain powerful combinations of magnesium, potassium, sodium, calcium, and hydration-enhancing compounds that directly support muscle contraction and relaxation. But it's not just about getting enough of these nutrients. It's about timing, absorption, and synergy. Today, we're going to break down 3 specific foods that research shows can help prevent leg cramps, especially in seniors. These aren't exotic superfoods or supplements. They're simple, accessible, and surprisingly powerful when used strategically. You'll learn what the science says, how to use these foods, and why they work, not just to stop cramps, but to build stronger, more resilient legs and a calmer, more balanced nervous system. Let's dive into the tools your muscles have been craving and show you how to feed strength from the inside out. 1. Avocados, the magnesium-rich cramp calmer. If there's one nutrient that most people over 60 are deficient in, yet rarely hear about, it's magnesium. And if there's one food that delivers it in a form your body actually absorbs well, it's the avocado. Now, here's why this matters. Every time your muscle contracts, whether you're walking upstairs, standing from a chair, or reaching for your morning coffee, calcium floods into the muscle cell, triggering that movement. But for that muscle to relax again, you need magnesium. Without enough magnesium, your muscles can stay partially contracted, overactive, or worse, they cramp. In fact, a 2012 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that magnesium intake was inversely associated with the frequency of nighttime leg cramps in older adults. In other words, the more magnesium participants got from their diet, the fewer cramps they experienced, and the better their sleep. But the key isn't just loading up on any magnesium-rich food. It's getting a bioavailable form, one that your body can actually absorb and use. That's where avocados shine. One medium avocado contains about 50 to 8 milligrams of magnesium, plus over 700 milligrams of potassium. Another cramp-fighting mineral that works synergistically with magnesium to regulate fluid balance, nerve conduction, and muscle function. Let's break that down. Magnesium is like the brake pedal for muscle contraction, while potassium is the gear shifter that helps reset nerve impulses. When you're low in either, your muscles, particularly in the legs, can fire involuntarily. That's the cramp. Now imagine giving your muscles both tools at once, the brake and the gear shifter, in one simple food. That's avocado. And unlike a supplement, the healthy fats in avocado also enhance the absorption of fat-soluble nutrients like vitamin E, which supports tissue repair and recovery. So what's the protocol? Here's a simple tool to apply. Try half an avocado in the evening about 90 minutes before bed. You can slice it on whole grain toast, mash it with a pinch of sea salt and lemon, or blend it into a smoothie with leafy greens and Greek yogurt. The timing here matters because magnesium helps with both muscle relaxation and sleep quality, especially in older adults. If you're wondering whether food can really make that much of a difference, consider this. The nervous system is electrical, and minerals like magnesium and potassium are your body's electrolytes, the actual charges that help fire and relax neurons. When you don't have enough of them, your wires short circuit, but when they're in balance, everything works smoothly. Muscles glide, nerves stay calm, and sleep becomes deeper and less disturbed by pain or spasms. And the best part? Avocados aren't just good for preventing cramps. They're good for your brain, your heart, and your joints too. The monounsaturated fats in avocado have been linked to better cognitive function and reduced inflammation, which is especially important for healthy aging. So ask yourself, when was the last time you gave your muscles the minerals they actually need to do their job? Not just contract, but release. In the next section, we'll look at something a bit more surprising, a liquid that stops cramps within 85 seconds for some people. It's weird, it's briny, but it works, and we'll show you how to use it smartly and safely. 2, pickle juice, the fast-acting nerve signal stabilizer. Let's talk about something unconventional, even a little strange. You're in the middle of a cramp. Your calf seizes up, the pain sharp, and instinctively you try to stretch or massage it. But what if you could reset the cramp, not by stretching, but by sipping? That's where pickle juice comes in. Now, before you dismiss it, consider this. In 2010, researchers from North Dakota State University published a study in Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise showing that pickle juice, the liquid brine, reduced the duration of active muscle cramps by nearly 45% compared to water. And here's the kicker. The effect happened in 85 seconds, which is far too fast for the sodium or potassium to have been absorbed and processed through the bloodstream. What's happening? Here's what the research suggests. Pickle juice stimulates specific sensory receptors in the mouth and throat, particularly acid-sensing TRP, transient receptor potential channels. These receptors send signals through the central nervous system that inhibit misfiring motor neurons in the spinal cord. In other words, the taste of the brine triggers a neural reflex that calms the overactive signal causing the cramp. It's not about rehydrating, it's about resetting. This is a powerful insight because it reveals a neurogenic component to muscle cramps, meaning it's not just your muscles or electrolytes, but the nerve signals that drive them. And you can modulate those signals through the mouth-brain connection. So, what's the protocol? A simple tool to apply is this. Keep 1-2 ounces of pickle juice in the fridge and sip it when you feel a cramp coming on, or right after light evening exercise when your muscles are more vulnerable. Let it sit in your mouth for 10-15 seconds before swallowing to activate the full reflex arc. You don't need a lot and you don't want to overdo it, especially if you're watching your sodium intake. But a small strategic dose can be incredibly effective. If you're concerned about the salt, here's an alternative. Make your own brine with a mix of vinegar, water, garlic dill, and a pinch of sea salt. You can also find low sodium pickle juice products designed specifically for cramp prevention. Now, here's a key takeaway. While pickle juice can be a fast-acting tool, it's not a cure. It's a neural interrupt, a way to shut down an active cramp by hijacking the signaling loop. Think of it as your emergency reset switch, not your foundational fix. Your foundational fix still comes from consistently supplying the body with the right nutrients, hydrating well, and building neuromuscular resilience through movement and sleep, which we'll talk more about in the final section. But here's something to think about. Your nervous system is highly responsive to taste, texture, and stimulation. And the more you learn to work with it, the more power you have to regulate things like cramps, digestion, and even focus. Before we move on, if this kind of science-backed, practical insight is helping you, consider subscribing. It's free, it helps us grow, and it ensures you'll keep getting these kinds of grounded, actionable strategies to support your mind and body. We go deep, we keep it real, and we're building a community that's here to optimize, not just age. Coming up next, a food that doesn't just prevent cramps, but actually supports muscle repair, reduces inflammation, and improves sleep. All through the power of natural antioxidants. Talking about tart cherries. And the science here is shockingly strong. Tart cherries, the anti-inflammatory recovery booster. Let's shift from fast-acting fixes to long-term resilience. Because while magnesium and neural resets can stop a cramp in the moment, your real superpower lies in recovery. Giving your muscles and nerves the support they need to regenerate, restore, and fire smoothly in the future. That's where tart cherries come in. Now, this isn't some trendy superfood claim. The research here is remarkably consistent. Tart cherries are rich in compounds called anthocyanins, natural plant pigments that give the fruit its deep red color. But more importantly, these compounds have powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties that directly support muscle repair and reduce soreness. In a 2010 study published in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition, runners who consumed tart cherry juice for 7 days prior to a long-distance race reported significantly less muscle pain and strength loss post-run compared to the placebo group. Why? Because the cherries reduced the oxidative damage that typically causes micro tears and inflammation in muscle tissue. So how does this relate to leg cramps? Here's what's happening in your body. As we age, our muscles recover more slowly and oxidative stress increases. That means our tissues stay inflamed longer after use, which makes the neuromuscular system more reactive. Inflammation irritates nerve endings. It disrupts the balance of electrolytes, and it makes cramps more likely, especially at night when the body is trying to repair itself. But by regularly consuming tartare juice or concentrate, you reduce that background inflammation and support faster, more complete recovery. In other words, you raise the threshold at which a cramp might occur because your system is simply calmer, better nourished, and more balanced. A simple protocol you can try. 1 to 2 tablespoons of tart cherry concentrate mixed in water, taken in the evening, ideally 1 to 2 hours before bed. This timing works on 2 levels. It aids muscle repair overnight, and it helps promote deeper sleep. Tart cherries naturally contain melatonin, the sleep-regulating hormone, which supports both circadian rhythm and overnight muscle healing. Now, a quick note of clarity. We're talking about tart cherries, not sweet cherries. Varieties like Montmorency are particularly rich in the beneficial compounds we're after. And if you prefer whole fruit, a small bowl of frozen tart cherries works too. Just aim for consistency. Here's a question worth reflecting on. What if the key to fewer cramps wasn't just avoiding pain, but actively building an internal environment where pain is less likely to arise? That's the deeper shift this protocol invites. By nourishing your body with anti-inflammatory foods like tart cherries, you don't just treat symptoms, you cultivate resilience. Let's zoom out for a moment. You now have 3 powerful tools: avocado for mineral balance and relaxation, pickle juice for fast neural resets, and tart cherries for inflammation control and recovery. Each one supports a different system: electrolyte, nervous, and muscular, and together they form a complete science-based strategy for preventing leg cramps. And it's not just about comfort, it's about freedom. Freedom to move confidently, to sleep soundly, and to trust your body again as you age. If that's a vision you're on board with, subscribe to the channel. Join this community of people using real science to make real progress in their health and well-being. And if you've tried any of these tools or have a method that's worked for you, drop it in the comments. We learn more when we learn together. Next up, we'll wrap with a powerful recap. reinforce the science, and leave you with a challenge to implement today. Stay tuned. The conclusion is where we pull it all together. Let's take a moment to step back and really connect the dots. You've now seen how 3 different foods, each backed by neuroscience, physiology, and nutrition research, can powerfully reduce leg cramps and strengthen your body from the inside out. First, we started with avocados, a magnesium and potassium-rich food that gives your muscles the minerals they need to both contract and relax. We talked about how magnesium acts as the brain's and body's natural brake pedal, calming overactive muscles and nervous system signals, especially at night. Then we looked at pickle juice, not as a gimmick, but as a neurological tool, a fast-acting cramp reset that works through sensory neurons in the mouth, disrupting faulty motor signals that cause your muscles to seize. And it's a reminder that the brain and body are in constant dialogue, and that even something as simple as taste can shift that conversation in your favor. And finally, we explored tart cherries, rich in anti-inflammatory anthocyanins and natural melatonin. A true recovery food, one that supports deep sleep, reduces oxidative stress, and helps repair the micro damage that makes cramps more likely in aging muscles. Each one of these isn't just a tip, it's a gateway to deeper self-regulation. They touch on mineral balance, neurosignaling, and tissue recovery. Together, they form a protocol that's far greater than the sum of its parts. Here's why this matters. Beyond cramps, when you feed your body the right signals, you reclaim agency. You shift from being reactive to proactive, from treating symptoms to upgrading systems. Because leg cramps, especially in seniors, aren't just a nuisance. They're often a sign of deeper imbalance. Whether it's poor nutrient absorption, chronic low-grade inflammation, or disrupted sleep cycles, the body is trying to get your attention. These foods are a way to respond, not with fear, but with intelligence. Now, here's a simple challenge for you. Tonight, try one of these protocols. Maybe it's a spoonful of tart cherry concentrate in a glass of water, or half an avocado with a light sprinkle of sea salt before bed, or simply keeping a small bottle of pickle juice in the fridge as your emergency tool. Don't try to do everything at once. Pick one. Start small, but be consistent for at least 7 to 10 days. Track how you feel. Are your legs less restless at night? Do you wake up with fewer aches? Is your sleep deeper? These are signs that your nervous system and muscle function are starting to recalibrate. And if you notice a difference, come back and let us know in the comments. Share what worked and how you did it. That feedback doesn't just help others, it builds a collective intelligence, a place where science becomes action and action becomes health. If this video brought you value, I invite you to like it, not as a favor to me, but as a way to tell the algorithm, this matters, show more of this. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit that button, because this channel is here to help you build a body and brain you can trust, one protocol at a time. We're not here to chase hacks. We're here to apply real science calmly and consistently so that you can age with strength, clarity, and freedom. Thanks for watching, and here's to stronger legs, deeper sleep, and fewer cramps from here on out.